my name is Christina. I am Whilst Iris Snaps on Instagram and Whilst Iris Snaps Designs, and this is a video about cross stitch. This is FlossTube number 12, and I think this is going to have a little bit of a festive theme. I have our trees up. We have one here, as you can see, in what we call the snug, and this is the tree for the children. This is one that they decorate themselves with a little bit of input from me. I lost count of how many times I used the word symmetrical when they were decorating it. And we have another tree in our front room that is mine, and that is my Christmas pudding tree. All of the baubles and decorations are Christmas puds, and I would take you through to have a look at it, but then you would get to see all of the Christmas decoration boxes that are stacked up waiting to be put away. So instead I will insert a photograph here. As you can see, totally obsessed with Christmas puddings. I wouldn't care, but I don't like Christmas pudding. I don't like the taste of it, I don't like the smell of it, but there you go. And this year I decided that I wasn't going to put any of my stitched ornaments onto the trees. Instead, I've displayed them on a couple of wire heart memo boards. Apologies if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen these and you're probably bored to death of them, but I will put in a couple of photographs here. I did have quite a few messages after I shared the photographs on Instagram to ask where I had purchased the wire hearts from. I've had them years, I'm afraid, but if you search on Google or Amazon for wire heart memo board, you should be able to find something almost identical. So what am I going to share with you in this video other than my Christmas trees and decorations? Well, I have some stitching from the archives, and it's a framed piece from my mum, a Christmas theme obviously. I have some purchases, just a few this time. I have some Christmas ornaments that I've stitched over the years, and their theme, other than all being Christmas ornaments, is that they were all freebies. And then I will finish by sharing my own Christmas freebie, which is called Let It Snow. So shall we get cracking? Stitching from the archives, and it's rather large. And oh yes, of course, there we go with the glare. Let's see if we can get some nice close-ups. And this one was stitched in 1996. My mum has stitched the date, and she no longer has the chart for it, given that she stitched it 25 years ago, and I was convinced it was a Stony Creek chart. So I was searching for Stony Creek 12 Days of Christmas, but it isn't a Stony Creek. I'm sure lots of you have realised that already. It's a Joan Elliott design, and it isn't called 12 Days of Christmas. This one is a partridge in a pear tree. Joan Elliott does have a chart called the 12 Days of Christmas that is beautiful, and I will have to get that one for my mum to stitch. But as I said, this one is partridge in a pear tree. Just stunning. So much back stitch in it though. Luckily my mum doesn't seem to mind the back stitch. And I will put a photograph of the chart in here. It's still readily available, it would appear. Now to purchases, and just a few supplies purchased this month, and they're all from 123 Stitch in the US. 123 Stitch now has a set postage rate to the UK of either £5 or $5, I can't remember which. Either way, it's very good value. The parcel did, however, take 3 weeks to get here. Luckily, they weren't urgent supplies, so I was more than happy to wait. And I got some Mill Hill beads, a couple of shades of red, and these may or may not be for my Christmas exchange for April. Some plain white beads. I got a beautiful piece of linen. This is water green from Wishart. It's 40 count. I'm trying to build up my stash of higher count linens. I'm much more comfortable stitching on 40 count these days. And I got several colours of chenille trim from Lady Dot Creates. I love using this on my finishes. This is Polar Ice, Robin Egg, a lovely duck egg blue. Oh no, it's not duck egg blue, it's a robin egg blue. Oh my goodness, Christina, the clue's in the name. Robin egg blue. Sea glass, that's a really pretty green. Sequoia. And then just a plain white that's called Snow. Next up is Christmas ornaments, and as I mentioned earlier, all of these designs have been stitched using freebie charts. Some of them I did stitch quite a few years ago, so finding a link to the chart or the designer proved a tad problematic. However, those that I did manage to find, I have linked in the drop down box below. And first up is one of the problematic ones, old Skinny Santa here. I'm afraid I don't know the name of the chart nor the designer, but we just call him Skinny Santa. If you do recognise him, please would you give me a shout, let me know. And I stitched Skinny Santa on 32 count raw opalescent linen using DMC thread. And I finished him using, do you call this baker's twine? And then a red button at the top, and then some Festive fabric on the reverse. And this one is Sapin Noël Christmas tree from a French blog named Gazette 94. She has some really lovely freebies on there. I've stitched several over the years. And I stitched Sapin Noël on 40 count summer khaki. Nikki Noodles, I always think of you when I say khaki now. And I believe it was a DMC, perhaps 814 or 815. And then the edging is a ruched ribbon. And there's quite a lot of tension in that there ribbon. I must have been having a hard day. And then hidden at the top there is a little button. Not a button, a bead. Did I say button for Santas as well? I didn't mean button, I meant bead. And then some red fabric on the back. Oh, then this one got me into a little bit of trouble yesterday when I was searching for the chart. This is from Stitchy Kitty, and when I went on her Facebook page, she'd named him in error Willy's gift. So off I went onto Google searching for Willy's gift. He's actually called Chili's gift. Whatever you do, don't go searching on Google for Willy's gift. Chili's gift is stitched on a lilac fabric, I think it's 32 count, using DMC, but they're not the call for DMC. I believe I chose my own for this one. And then I used 3 different colour beads for the trim. I love the effect. And then I stitched a parcel on the reverse. Stitchy Kitty Chili's gift. And then we have a snowman, and he is from Elliott design, and he's stitched on 32 count raw opalescent. I hope you can see the sparkle. Please don't look at the white stitches, oh my goodness, they're dreadful. We could do a whole video on stitching with white thread, couldn't we? And a beaded edge, and then a little snowflake on the back. Then we have Let It Snow from Barbara Anna Designs, again on a lilac linen. Looks quite big. I think this is a 28 count. And I use the Call for DMC, a beaded edge using 2 colours, and then another snowman on the reverse. I think I like the reverse almost as much as the front. This next one is one of my all-time favourite ornaments. I absolutely love it. This is Berries in Bloom from Kathy Harberman at Hands On Design. And she offered it as a freebie this time last year, and I stitched it just at the beginning of this year. I used the Call for DMC and stitched it on a 32 count blue from XG Designs. And then I put rather a jazzy fabric on the reverse. Next up is one that I haven't actually stitched myself. This was a gift in an exchange that I did about 10 years ago. And this is a design called Winter Snow from King Cable Crosses, Kelsmurthwaite. And I just love the finish on this. An opalescent blue fabric as well. So pretty. Very wintry. And then another snowman. This is Bonhomme de Neige from another French blog that's named Jura Point de Croix. And again, she has some really pretty freebies on there. And this is stitched on a 32 count blue fabric. A beaded trim, and I stitched rather a large heart on the reverse. And to finish, it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention my own freebie that I stitched this time last year, and that is my All Is Calm drum, my first ever drum finish. And this is stitched on 36 count tin roof from Weeks Dye Works, using Weeks Dye Works floss or thread, and then a snowflake on the top there. And this can be downloaded from the freebie section of my website. Now to this year's Christmas freebie from Whilst Iris Snaps Designs. I released this around 2 weeks ago now. This is Let It Snow. And I'm going to have to hold it really close to the camera because the lighting here is dreadful at the moment. It's really blowing the colours out. But hopefully you'll get a nice close-up of the snowflake charms too. And if I flip it over, you will see that I've stitched 2021 on the reverse, and this is included within the chart, as is brief finishing instructions as to how I finished the ornament, added the snowflake charms and the beaded border. The linen is a gorgeous colour called Minty from Foxgloveandlacelinen. And if you'd like to stitch it on the Call for linen, if you message Hazel on Instagram, she will be happy to dye you some. The threads are Weeks Dye Works Pelican Grey, and I used DMC B5200 just to make sure that the white stood out on the fabric. I wish I could get the linen to show its true colour. On the front cover of the chart it appears to be blue fabric. Some fabrics are just a nightmare to get a true colour, but if I hold up the blue ornament that I showed earlier, you can see that it's very definitely a green colour. The charms, the snowflake charms, I got from an Etsy store named Nicole de Bruin. She has sold out unfortunately, but there is an Etsy store in the States that still has them, or if you just Google white enamel snowflake charms, you should find something, if not identical then very similar. The charms also come in a few different colours. I managed to get them in blue and then a really pretty minty green. And the chart can be downloaded from my website in the freebies section. If you do stitch it, please would you tag me either on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see your finishes. I have seen a couple of finishes already and they are stunning. I'm going to finish by giving a sneak peek of a chart that I will hopefully be releasing within the next couple of days. This is G is for gingerbread. Shh, don't tell anybody. I will hopefully be back in a couple of weeks with a video before Christmas to celebrate my 1 year, can you believe it, FlossTube anniversary. So I do hope you will join me then. Take care and bye bye.